Oh,
You live?
yeah. Gonna let it warm up for a second.
What's up, gentlemen?
I mean, we got some people in here. So you see on the top corner right there on the left,
Yeah, I got you.
or right there on the laptops. That's the same feed for you.
Yeah.
Let people get in here for a second, guys. How's everybody doing tonight? Yeah, we're good. Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube.
Remember, guys, please feel free to make comments
And
it's
share.
Very, very important.
Share,
and make comments. This is about the children. So as myself, I can only do so much. So please make comments. We need to make a change.
I like your sweater vest.
Thank you. It was not super cold, so I figured it's a perfect outfit. I wanted to wear Biloxi colors.
Okay.
So kind of give a little.
Oh, that's a show the shoes. Show shoes.
So they're kind of like more of an Ole Miss color, but it works.
Yeah. Scott's got the same pair. He wears them up at the Capitol. And more people coming in. Okay.
You ready to go?
Yeah. Let me go ahead and hit this, and guys, we'll be right back. See you in a second. All right. Music by Loud. Magnolia Room Speakeasy. Airbnbbosses. Drinx. Shout out to John. Direct Auto. Go see Michael West. Collision Depot. They will fix and repair to the highest standard. The District Coffee Company, downtown Ocean Springs, and the new location, Pascagoula.
We offer home, auto, commercial, builders, rips, and life experts.
Oliver's Guide.
Oliver Shots experts.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
All right.
Y'all ready?
Ivan's got to read something right now, and
I need to read something to everybody today. Today, I received a cease and desist letter from an attorney threatening to file criminal charges against me if I talk about specific individuals. After consulting with my attorney, I'm going to temper what I had planned to say tonight. We'll be filing a lawsuit against certain individuals and the Biloxi School District in an attempt to protect these students from senseless acts and meaningless and meanness that is endured at the hands of certain school district employees. The courtroom is the proper place for civil disputes to be decided with a jury of our peers. We will take this in a civil way to our peers, our neighbors, our community. Will decide if these kids have had to endure was right. Our community will decide if these people will get away with bullying and mental abuse or be held accountable. As a leader in the community, I'm going to make sure that these things come to light, but in a proper way and proper form of courtroom. So after saying that, we're still continuing the show, and I will still continue to expose what is going on in the system at Biloxi High and other schools out there. It's extremely important for you guys to make comments and stuff alone. But after getting these letters and realizing, how big it is, we want to just make sure we're doing it correctly. Every person that I spoke to in the last 2 to 3 weeks, the letters, the emails, the calls, I want to say thank you very much. And I feel for each and every one of y'all. I spent hours and hours and hours speaking to people that their kids were bullied, and a lot of heart-wrenching conversations. So I'll be reaching out to each and every one of you, and so will the attorneys, and we're going to proceed this in the correct manner to make it right for all of you. I am actually looking for absolute zero financial gain at all. So I will be not accepting any money. And if there isn't any money on my behalf, it will be donated to the correct cause to prevent this stuff. But let's get this started, I guess.
Yeah. So guys, this is very important. There's a share button. Comment, like you said, if comment with your questions. The support is needed. I haven't had to read that note. We were going to get into, so first we're going to start into, how did all this even get on your radar?
Yeah. So most people on this podcast and other stuff probably don't know me personally or know me really well. So one of the things about me is everything is about my family. I'm going to protect my children, especially my baby daughter, over anything. So, you hurt her or harm her or do something, I'm always going to go on attack. And, and I did that, and, and I fought for her, and, things have gotten done, but not done to what I believe is the correct standards. My daughter was grabbed and pulled by a person that works at the school. And there was a witness there, and we are going to court on Tuesday to discuss the assault charge.
Did you ever get this? I mean, these new schools, they have like high end tech. Did they have cameras?
Yeah. So obviously the schools have cameras. For some reason, they're saying that there's no camera there. We do have a witness, a very strong witness that saw everything and saw the whole episode that happened. So I'm confident that something will happen, but it's going to have to happen in the courtroom. I will say this: we've made a lot of progress over the last few weeks with this on the cheer team. Both the cheer coaches have decided to step down, which is great. My big thing was them making an apology to the kids and to the parents, and then I said just the kids alone. And merely that's really what I wanted out of this. I wanted these kids to feel safe at school, and I wanted these kids that these coaches that are still teachers, I want them to feel not intimidated in the hallways. I thought what I was asking for was very easy and simple, and this could have been resolved weeks ago. So really that's my concern. I'm not a litigation. I'm not into fighting people. I'm not into litigating. I just want what's right and wrong, and I want what's protected to these kids. No kids at all. These kids have it hard enough today in today's age with social media and bullying amongst themselves.
Not only that, I mean, it's a whole different, when we were in school, there's a whole different testing system now.
Yeah.
It's a lot more homework, a lot more work. It's a lot more stress.
No doubt. And back when I was a kid, I didn't even have internet. So, we didn't have
Really?
the internet. I didn't have a cell phone. We didn't have internet. I didn't have the internet till after college, really.
With color TV, black and white?
I don't even remember. I'm so old, I don't even remember. But I will tell you, though, it's just a different world today, but there's no reason that any child should be bashed about their weight, about their height, about anything. Especially in school. School is your protect zone. School is where you feel should be protected. And that's my biggest thing. So if people know me, they know like I'm about my biggest, probably most compassionate thing is children. Like I never, ever, ever want to see kids get harmed. And bullying right now is so bad. God forbid, one of these kids, attempted to commit suicide and died. The blood is on the administration, on the school board, everything else. We need to prevent that stuff. We need to make sure we're doing the right things, and not just Biloxi High, every other school as well. Because I know I've gotten calls and emails over the last 3 or 4 weeks, how this is happening everywhere. I know where I'm at. This has been going on at Biloxi for 10 years. My kids both went there. Let me tell you one thing. I love Biloxi. I think Biloxi is amazing. The principal's amazing. I don't know her well, but I've never heard any bad things. Not every coach has pretty much that I've been with has been great. I'm not heavily involved. I've never called a coach. I've never gone to the school and made a complaint. This is the first time I've done it probably in 10 years. I just want these people to understand is you got to take responsibility for your actions. And when you do something stupid, like grab a child or cuss at a child or do something that's inappropriate, there's nothing wrong with saying, I'm sorry. And that's what makes me more concerned than anything is like, if I make mistakes all the time. I always tell people I'm a proud asshole. Like I try to be nice to everyone, but when I go off, I go off. And I know, and in business and the real world, but if I think I do something wrong, I'll always apologize, and it makes me feel better, and it should make them feel better.
So my thing is also with education. These are role models. So let's say if a kid gets grabbed, that teacher or that person is the kids are looking up to that person.
There's no doubt.
I love my teachers. Shout out Kim, but I love my teachers. Like I almost say Martin.
Yeah,
I love my teachers. I looked up to them.
Yeah.
To this day, I see them. They're a part of my life.
Yeah, no, and it's sad. It's sad, and I believe Biloxi and I think all the teachers that I've ever met have been amazing. I think Biloxi's it's a great school, but they failed. They've drastically failed on this part of the channel. When someone gets, when the same things happen continuously, day in, day out, weekly, with the same people, there's an issue. And when there's an issue like that, you need to fix that issue. You cannot sweep it under the rug and make it impossible to get a resolution done. So, and that's my biggest concern. And I'm being sincere here. I'm not looking to hurt anybody. I'm not looking to hurt the teachers. I'm not looking to hurt the coaches. We need the system to be corrected, because right now it's corrupt. And it's sad. And it's sad because, as people are saying, we'll start reading comments in a few minutes, it's still like the good old boy club. If you're in that club, you're protected. And some of these teachers and administration and coaches feels like they're untouchable and invincible. And that's not how it should be. I mean, their number one concern should be these kids. They should be safety. These kids are one safety zone.
They're the future. And
their one safety zone should be at school. They should never have to worry. A lot of these kids have tough times at home. They might not have a dad or a mom or someone abusive. Can we get
real quickly, like with you, when you found out at home, did you feel a little change? I mean, it's got to be tough. I mean, did you when you got approached by this?
Well, so I'm not actively, and it's not a positive thing. I've never had to be actively involved in my kids' school. My kids have always been the type of kids that have always done well in school enough. And I've never had to go meet teachers and anything. And if my kids get out of line, I'm putting an end to the shit. No ifs, ands, and buts. And I'm sorry for the language, and I'll make sure that they know that won't happen again. I might've had 2 calls in 10 years from teachers, and I've, put them in check. They do something wrong. I mean, I pulled my kid's car from Oxford, Mississippi for getting a speeding ticket. So people might think, oh yeah.
Which one?
My son, Austin. But I'm saying you guys might think that, oh, my kids are spoiled and privileged. Yeah, they are. I mean, but I come to the agreement, and I think everyone should. If you make money, just because you make money and do stuff, money is about memories for your family, for your friends. I give back probably more than most people in this area, because I believe in, I've been blessed and that I've been able to make money, but I'm always very philanthropic, and I believe in giving back. And kids are my weakest link, because I feel the kids are so important. If a child asks me to go to lunch to learn about business, I make myself available. I mean, I've been to probably 20 lunches with kids in the last 12 months, 16 to 25, just asking me for advice. I don't even know who they are. So I'm all about helping the kids. They are our future. One
thing that when you reached out to me coming on the show, and you can go back and watch other episodes with Ivan. He's a current guest. He's a friend. But the thing that really struck me was when you called me about it, and you're like, for me, I just want an apology. I want a public apology. And I knew that was like, I mean, I feel like that's pretty easy. But I think guys who are listening, this generation, like you said, like TikTok and all the social media, I mean, these kids are getting extremely bullied digitally, right? It's pressure. I mean, when we went to school, there wasn't video cameras. We could throw keg parties behind the school. We could do a lot of stuff. But now you move into this new generation where it impacts everything, and I don't think anybody wants to be grabbed in school, and I don't think that's just it just doesn't feel right, and I think it scars the youth.
Yeah. So I'm just reading some of these comments, and listen, you guys want to bully me? Fine, I'm an adult, I can handle it. I know I've had issues in the past. I think I paid my consequences, and I'm definitely no angel. I'm no Mother Teresa. But you want to come at me, you can come at me all day long. Just don't come at these kids, especially these kids are so vulnerable nowadays. So many of these kids have depression and other stuff. I mean, you guys need to grow up and realize you're hurting these kids, and these kids, just like the poor girl in Ocean Springs. I mean, I don't know the whole story, but the last thing we want is blood on our hands and a kid committing suicide. You don't want, I mean, this is just a horrible black eye for the city of Biloxi, and we just need to stop it, and we need to stop it now. And I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that it's stopped. Sometimes you can do it in the public forum and sometimes you can't. We brought a great venue, I think, today for people to speak out and make really good questions and comments and give a venue for them to actually tell their story. So I wish they would just talk about some of the stuff, talking about the facts. This is the problems I have today. Most of these kids are under 18 years old, and there are laws and regulations about it. And because I can't talk about the specific individuals that have done certain things to these people on a specific name branch, the only way I can do that is through litigation through the court system. And it's something I didn't want to do. All I asked for was an apology, just so my child and all the other children on the cheer team felt comfortable. And for some reason, they wouldn't do it. They were willing to step down. And I was lucky enough to have the athletic director just said that, it's not the culture we want on the Biloxi cheer team. And they're looking for a new coach, which is one great start. But we really need to change the process. When there's an issue, we need to change the process. And I know you guys are all bringing out Coach Bates. I must have talked to Coach Bates 3 times this week. And I know he's having litigation with Biloxi High. And I met him multiple times, and he's a great guy. I don't know the few story, and I can't really discuss it because I know it's in litigation. But there's a lot like that, and it's scary. And I see what people are saying, and so I think we should let's start reading about this kind of stuff and see where
right before that. Let's hit these couple definitions.
Oh yeah, sure. So these are very, very important definitions that everyone's got to understand.
Let's go with this one first.
The first one is defamation. So I don't know if people know, but defamation is a civil wrong that occurs when false information is presented as facts harms a person's reputation. I have 100% not done that. Everything I have that we're presenting to the courts and I've aired online is 100% accurate and is documented by multiple witnesses. So I have not brought anything up. So I'm very, very confident that there's been no defamation whatsoever. And again, my thing was to ask for an apology. Right, the next one is slander, I believe.
Yep.
Slander, the action of a crime of making a false spoken statement damaging in a person's reputation. Again, we've made firm and a commitment, and why we've done so much research is everything that we looked at, and these 60, 70, 80, 90 emails and statements, the 15 plus statements that kids did with the athletic directors at school, led to the coaches to step down. So everything I'm saying and everything I'm talking about, everything is factual. Believe it or not, it's factual. And if we can't air it out online like we wanted to tonight, we'll do it in the courtroom. And again, I mean, we're going to do it for the kids. We need to stop this, and we need to stop it because it could be absolutely brutal for everyone. And look, I see some of the stuff y'all are writing online. I mean, there's no reason to bully anyone else. There's no reason to say stuff at anyone else. So, I'm sure a lot of people have fake onlines that go forward on that. So
you got grab that right there. There's a laptop right there by you. Go through some comments.
All right. So we'll start up right here. It says, Gypsy, Coach Bates, my son loves you. Great. Truth. Ivan is not doing this for himself. So he's trying to protect the children. I appreciate that, Truth. What makes these documents legit? You're going so fast, I can't even see.
Well, no, you can scroll it right here.
Oh, where we go?
See a little scroll ball on the side of it?
Yeah, got it.
Okay.
Where did I lose that, guys? Are you in charge of that one up there?
No, that one right there.
So where do I go? Here?
No, just
where do I go?
Scroll right here. So we're going here, right here. Okay. We'll go like this, and then just 2-finger scroll.
Oh, okay. 2 fingers like this. And I must not be that smart, so I can't do these 2 fingers. What do you say? 2 fingers like this?
Just do 2 fingers like it. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. So
we're gonna go to some comments. If we got
Truth. Ivan is not doing this for himself. This is about protecting children. There's no need to attack him. Thank you very much, Truth. I mean, I'm a big boy. You guys can attack me however you want.
You gotta click off that blue.
Yep. There we go. Agreed. Danielle. Ivan for president. I appreciate that. He's a felon as well, so it could be possible one day, but I highly doubt it. Jordan, your podcast is first class and be giving a free speech. Listen, that's what this is all about. Is people should be able to get on here, talk freely about what has happened. And if you look at what President Trump has, I'm not a major Republican or a Democrat, but what he has proven is you can have free speech and you should be able to talk the stuff that happened. And the big thing is not just what's happened, but corrected it. Chair Ward. How is Coach Glenn not fired? He sucks at his coaching and for whatever it is. I mean, these are kind of, I really, if you have some serious questions, I'm good, but please let's not, I don't want to be bashing any single individual, but if you have like stuff that really happened or concerns, let us know. I mean, there's a lot of rumors out there that I see people posting. I'm not going to even speculate on if they're true or not, because I don't know if they're true. So, but I mean, if there's stories that have actually happened, please let me know. One of the big things, Carolyn, stop bullying kids. They're delicate. I mean, that's probably one of my most important things is these kids have it much harder today than any of us ever had. Social media is brutal. I mean, Instagram and TikTok and Snapchat. I mean, it's brutal. I know right now Biloxi's going through some lawsuits from different pictures and, some really bad stuff and bullying. And, we need to stop it. We need to when there's an issue, we need to make it accessible for the parents and the kids to go there and stop it on the spot. We don't need to take 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks for it to get to a certain spot into the spot in the agenda. And all of a sudden they're saying, yeah, it was done, and sweep it under the rug. That is my biggest concern. You need to be able to let these people speak, actually truly do an investigation, and not sweep it on the rugs. Just because they're your colleagues or your friends or your best friends or your girlfriend or your boyfriend, whatever it is, this is some serious stuff. And the next thing that's going to happen is someone's going to get hurt. And then the school and everything else got a really black eye on it. So that's all I'm saying. And listen, just so everyone knows, I know, and I appreciate everyone's called me about my daughter. My daughter's fine. Okay. My daughter's a tough girl. I love you, Bella. Her birthday was this week. I love you more than anything. And that's why I'm here protecting you. But Bella's fine. She got assaulted and it is what it is. We'll handle that accordingly, but she's tough. The one thing I don't want is everyone's like, why don't you just pull out of school and send her to St. Pat's or Gulfport or wherever else it is? Bella loves Biloxi. I mean, she loves it. She loves Biloxi. She loves 99% of the teachers, the coaches, the police officers are amazing. The principal, I mean, so it's nothing to do with Biloxi, but when you have these few bad apples that really put some damaging stuff, it's tough, and my daughter's shaken about it. So, now she's got to see that teacher in the hallway. And that's why I asked for an apology. I mean, it's just intimidating for a 15-year-old girl to go into hallway and see, I don't know how old the teacher is, but whatever it is, seeing her there, stare at you, it's intimidating to any child, not only to an adult. So
we got a comment. Biloxi mom, let's talk about the coaches leaving our kids at cheer camp to get gas and nukes.
Yeah. So this is something that happened at the Biloxi cheer camp. I was told, and we have documentation on it. They had a cheer camp this summer in Starkville, Mississippi, and the coaches left the girls alone and made them walk for like a mile and a half or something to that effect. I'm not 100% sure. And they left them alone, and one of them got lost and was hysterical crying, which I sent the videos to, I think the school board and the superintendent and some other stuff. And, these are some of the situations that happen. And, under guidelines, the teachers shouldn't be doing that. They shouldn't be leaving kids. You're supposed to keep them under supervision. And these are the procedures. That's what I'm trying to say. When they make mistakes and decisions that are not correct, you should be held accountable. And just like I was held accountable years ago, I made a decision that I didn't think was, but either way, it obviously was wrong. And, I paid my consequence for it. But everyone's got to understand, like, you gotta come back and you got to be stronger. And I feel like I've done that. And I'm just trying to make a forum, not just for me, but for anyone else. I just want people to have the ability, if something happens to their child, to have the ability to go speak to someone and something actually gets done and not swiped under the rug and not make it impossible to ever get to the school board to help these children out. It's like calling like a customer service number in China, and they're like, your wait time is 3 hours and 56 minutes. Are you going to stay on hold for 20 minutes or 2 hours for that? No. And that's kind of really what they do in the school board system. I'm going to let you pick out all the ones that are important.
Looking right now. Yeah, the school. Yeah, let's see. 38 baby. I was personally abused in the baseball locker room as a freshman. It's kind of messed up.
Yeah, I mean, those kind of things. If that, I don't know, factual or not, but if that happened, it's horrible. There's a lot of stuff that has happened that has gone in. I mean, you hear about people talking about coaches. I mean, any of these allegations on coaches. I mean, if you guys have these allegations and you have proof, that needs to stop. Whoever the coach is, if the coach is my sister, my mom, those things need to stop, because when these kids are at school, they need to feel 100% protected.
So we
100%.
We have Angela. She'll be on the show next Thursday, but she goes, there needs to be a third party to oversee these issues and get involved with the parents, students, and admins. School is too scared to even apologize because of liability. And now there's a whole ass trial.
Yeah, 100. I couldn't agree more. I mean, so Angela, that's a great comment. I couldn't agree more. And that's how it works. I see a ton of people asking, why was my daughter grabbed? I have no problem telling that. Another cheerleader got hurt. He was holding his head. He had ice on it. He was approached by a teacher saying what happened. They said he was unsupervised. The person that unsupervised him was not happy that he told him. My daughter said she was going away. She grabbed my daughter, and that's how it is. Listen, everyone makes mistakes again. It is what it is. She shouldn't have done it. She shouldn't have assaulted her. But all I asked was for an apology. And for me, that's the hardest thing for me to overcome is, why wouldn't you just apologize and make this all go away? Why would you agree to step down from your position, both of them, to step down from their positions, okay? And they said it was because of the culture of the cheerleading. Why wouldn't you just apologize, and so no one feels uncomfortable? It's not a hard process to do, and it'll probably make everyone feel better and everything go away.
Let's see. Logan's in here. Okay. I'm trying to read it. Get him fast comments. So if you can look too.
Yeah, sure. I see one that's right here. It says, from Derek Ladner, this needs to be a state movement in hopes of moving nationwide. Thanks for being a voice, Ivan. It really does. I mean, with this whole Me movement thing and everything else that's going on in society, personally, I don't know if people know, but suicide is the third biggest, and I'm going to shout out to one of my attorneys, Carly. Suicide is the third biggest death for kids age 14 to 18. So for people to understand that, and that's death. Do you know how many kids actually try to commit suicide? I mean, with social media and weight bashing and just bashing and pictures and stuff, let's stop being cruel to these kids, especially as adults and teachers. Kids are bad enough. We need to do better. And it's not just, it's everybody. I mean, it's me, it's everybody. It's everybody needs to do better and not make fun or bash these kids, because you don't know what any of these kids are going through at home. Nobody knows what's going on in the two doors of their house. Nobody knows.
So I got one right here. I got Warren Cleveland. I've heard stories from my daughter about this, and there's two sides here, Ivan. I don't fully trust her side, and you should know better than to fully trust your child's side.
I agree with you 100%. Listen, none of these kids are angels, but when you have multiple people, when you have multiple people saying the same thing for years and years and years and years, you know, you might have one or two or three, but when you have 15, 16, 20 statements saying the same things are happening and over, it's a trend. And, you know, when things smell fishy, usually they are. So I hear you completely, but you know, there needs to be a change. And I agree. I mean, you can't just count on what one kid says, but when you have witnesses and you have the same things happen with the same people, you need to give it credibility. Just because a child is 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and a person and a teacher is 37, 38, 50, whatever they are, doesn't mean that adult is always telling the truth either. So you need to give these kids just as much credit and having the nerve. You know how many people I had tell me, we wish so badly that we can come forward, but either they're work for the school system, they're not allowed to get fired. And their biggest thing is they're scared to come forward because they're scared their kids will be intimidated at school, you know? And I'm blessed because my daughter is a tough girl, but I'm blessed that, you know, she's not intimidated. You know, she feels uncomfortable around certain people and situations, but she's not intimidated at all. She's been through some stuff in, you know, her life, stuff that happened with me and our family. So, you know, we know, but I'll tell you one thing. I mean, my family's been through a lot of tragedy of losing young kids, friends. We lost our babysitter. I mean, we lost some of our closest friends' sons. We just lost my son's girlfriend's bestest friend. She was buried last Friday. You know, not from suicide, but I mean, when you start losing a child, it could be one of the hardest things ever. You know, I know Molly passed away, I think 4 years ago. I mean, these kids are so fragile and life is so fragile. And the one thing that I have the biggest soft spot in my heart is for children.
Well, I mean, it's like, I mean, a big part of it is people like Scary Gary wants a shout out, just trolling. I mean, a lot of internet trolls too. Like people in here that don't have their real names or use their real names, they'll never say anything in public.
So Todd Langley, and this is a good point. He said on the news in his statements, he said dating back 10 years. Are all these involving cheer because the coaches haven't been there 10 years and administration? And if that's the case, what about those athlete statements? So we have tons and tons and tons of athlete statements. We have tons of parent statements. A lot of them have already been sent to the administration. And it will be sent in the lawsuits. Yes, there are some of them that are not the same coaches and teachers, but maybe this is happening everywhere. I mean, I'm not blaming just these coaches or these specific teachers. I'm saying this trend has to stop. And maybe coaching's tougher. Maybe cheering's tougher. Maybe it's a bunch of, you know, mostly girls. And girls are tough. I had two older boys, man. They were easy. I mean, they were tough and, you know, they were my boys and, you know, I'm beyond tight with them, but they're boys. Boys do stupid stuff. Girls are tough. I mean, I'm growing up with a 16-year-old girl. It's not easy. So I hear what you're saying, and I will make sure that these statements will be to the attorney and they'll be presented. But also when you're a minor, when they make these statements, I don't believe you can put them in public knowledge. So that's my question there.
Let's see.
I don't know where we're at now.
Let's see. Josh, Danger Boy.
Danger Boy.
Yeah. And it's just a lot easier to kill since social media and keyboard talkers, I call them keyboard warriors, could happen in my day when we're there just chatter. We went to Diesel Road behind St. Martin High. Okay, I remember that. No, dude, that's what I'm saying. But there's some, you know, people that
I lost it.
People that troll. You just got to hit that the Google on the bottom right. Yep. Click that. All right.
I'll figure it out.
All right. But yeah, that's right. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. So I think he's, when you have people that take this internet, the internet thing's tough. I mean,
no, it's brutal. And I see you guys, you know, a lot of people are making some sarcastic jokes and stuff like that and talking about other kids and coaches and other stuff. you know, and listen, I know 90% of y'all have fake accounts when you're doing that stuff, which is fine. You know, you're keyboard warriors, you're very, very tough behind the screen, but you got to understand you're not letting people, you're hurting people. I mean, and if that's what you're looking to do, then do it.
Yeah, but it's a lot. So that's been going on a lot. And I think that's, you add that to pressure of school, and then you have this, like,
Hey, so I see a comment from Kiera Creel. Kiera, can we focus on cheer? Sure. I mean, listen, that's what it's all about. So if you want to make a comment now, like it's live, so I can, I'll definitely make sure I see it. I know you're on the cheer team, and congratulations, you made St. Patrick's, Southern Misses team. So congratulations on that.
Let's see. No, so go back, like I said, like on there's situations. Go ahead and you read that again.
Biloxi Mom, it says, this is what my daughter had to deal with by these coaches. The coaches have favorites, and then they pick what they want to do. Yeah, and that's pretty much, honestly, in life in general, and it's sad, but it's true. You know, it's just tough out there. So another one is Andrea Parker. Coaches have forgotten that they're here to produce human beings. Most coaches' philosophy is nothing but be creating an adult, and more concerned about getting their next win. Listen, I will tell you this. The one thing I was a Division I athlete, wouldn't look like it, but I played tennis. So I was never one of those persons ever. One of those persons ever. If you're in high school football, you're there to win. My sons both played basketball at high school. My kids sat the bench pretty much the entire time. Then when there's bigger, stronger kids, I mean, you're there to win. So I don't blame any coaches playing kids that are better than. I've never once called a coach and said, "Where's my kid playing?" It's just, it is what it is. But when you go to this level in college, it's all about winning and losing. So I don't have an issue on that end. I see a lot of people saying you need to fire the soccer coach. I don't know anything about the soccer coach. I just think we really need to talk about, if there's issues, you guys got to get together and have a forum and be able to go to the school and present your issue and be heard. So and that's the actual.
We got one right here. We got Chad. You see that? Ivan, who and what agency or boards are being sued? I agree. It's about to change, and thanks for standing up for the children.
Who and what? Oh, if you read the statement, it's that my attorney prepared. We'll be filing a lawsuit against certain individuals and the Biloxi School District. So we're not going to discuss who the individuals are, but it's really an attempt just to make sure that they protect the kids and not the employees. I mean, the goal is administration, school board, everyone else. The kids are there to be protected. You're not supposed to protect your friends. The kids are supposed to be safe, and that's the number one thing.
Try and get past some of these trolls. Hold on.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I mean, but this is like a serious thing, and I know a lot of you guys don't think so, but we go forward. Frank, Biloxi needs to clean house, period. This is an obviously lingering issue. Listen, I'm not super happy about it. Am I able to come back here after everything is settled? 100%. And, anyone that's on the cheer team, which I know there's several of you that have had some very, very bad instances, I'll be reaching out to you guys that have made statements and to see if you want to be involved as well. We'll be reaching out to everyone that has reached out to me to see if they want to be involved in this lawsuit, good, bad, or indifferent. We're going to make it that it's not going to cost people money. We're going to make it that this is going to be done right and correct and make sure our voices are heard.
Let's see right here.
So, everyone, listen, I love Boudreaux is great. Lofton's great. Athletic program is great. Football needs some work, but all is well. You don't like it, homeschool. There's no doubt I can homeschool my daughter, but my daughter loves Biloxi. I'm not saying any of these coaches are good, bad, and different. The system is broken. That's what I'm trying to say. The system is absolutely broken if you can't fix this kind of stuff.
Let's see right here. So we got this one right here.
Which one? The Biloxi school have made it clear who they protect. 2 coaches, not the children. Some people will think that. I believe, the school board has done, am I happy with just them being able to step down? So, hey, it's a start. Would I be happy if they just had a talk with the team and apologize for maybe both sides? Listen, I know my daughter's no angel, and I know a lot of the other girls on the team are no angels, but there's 3 sides to every story. But there's no reason to have animosity towards anybody. All they need to do is literally you apologize, make the air clean, and move forward. I'm on some serious medicine now. I used to have some little bit of anger issues. Now I've kind of calmed down. I've learned, instead of getting all amped up and fired up, I learned to kind of do that stuff.
That's pretty sad.
My kids have faced significant challenges under the coaching staff. Yeah, I think a lot of kids have. I mean, in the last 20 days or so since I've been dealing with this, I mean, I've spent hours on calls. I spent hours on calls talking to people that the stories are unbelievable. I mean, last thing you want to hear is a mother talking about her daughter attempting suicide. I mean, this is stuff we need to end, and it's not a joke. And it's stuff that we can end. We just need to have the rules and the regulations in place to stop it. And that's what I'm going to end up doing. So,
let's see. What's this one right here? Whoa, Drew. Hold on. Oh. Read this one out.
Which one? Drew. A struggle as a parent is to teach your kids to have thick skin and that life isn't going to be fair. With a 15-year-old, we've seen firsthand how ugly kids can be, but at no point should we ever have to worry about coaches and teachers. Please be tough on my kid, but do not put my hands on my kid. And to those people commenting about teachers putting up with the bullshit from the kids, I emphasize them as well. As parents, we need to handle that from home. Unfortunately, not everyone has a loving family. Probably it stops right there. I couldn't agree more. Kids need to be safe at home. If a teacher ever called me up and they said my kid was out of line, my kid is in some serious trouble. So people could think my kids are privileged and they have this and they have that. I do not take shit from any of my kids. If they do something wrong, they're going to pay the consequence. I can promise you that. So you might think this and that, and I'm a dad that tries to protect my kids and all stuff, but it's completely true. I was a cheerleading coach for 10 years. It was one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. I don't care what those high schoolers did. There's zero excuse for a coach to talk to athletes in a demeaning way. I could be tough on my girls, but I wanted them to know that I always had the backs. That's exactly what we need. And, a few years ago, we had a junior high coach at Biloxi, and she was amazing. She left and she got married, I think, and went to another school. And that happens. But listen, my daughter was never one. I mean, last year she won the best freshman, and she's won all these awards and the most, whatever, all these different awards. It has nothing to do with good or bad with my daughter. And I don't know if my daughter was in line or not, but nobody should put their hands on any child whatsoever in any angry manner. And again, it happens. People get upset and people get angry, but there's no reason why you shouldn't feel comfortable about apologizing. And that was my number one concern. I said I was going to drop all this on everything in here. I was going to drop everything. And all I asked them to do is step down and apologize to the girls. First, I said apologize to the parents and the girls. Then I said apologize to the girls. I sent that to the superintendent, to all the attorneys. That was my only request. I didn't ask them to get fired, nothing. I just wanted these girls to feel comfortable, and it was time for a change for a new coach. Right here, the cheer coaches have bullied so many kids. So many of them have left the team and quit due to them. They should not have to quit passion because of their coaches. And looking, it's all in the numbers. The proof is in the pudding. When you're a freshman at Biloxi High and you're a cheerleader, you might have 15 girls. And by the time you're a senior, if you look at it now, you have 3 or 4. So, when you look at it, the program is not the correct culture. And not that the women, good, bad, and different, it didn't work. And again, the system is broken. Biloxi has failed the children. And until they correct this system, nothing will be done. If I need to take this to litigation and protect each and every one of these kids or everybody that signs on this lawsuit, I will. But accountability is absolutely key. Teaching and coaching in today's educational environment is extremely hard. As teachers, we have a large portion of students who have bad attitudes when confronted by educators simply doing their job. We face parents who never believe their angels do anything wrong. Those parents are not seeing that teachers are on the front lines and everything happens by the day. By the time they call their parents, the damage is done. 100%. Listen, I reckon anyone that's a teacher, I commend you. I mean, I could never deal with these kids. I mean, these kids are tough. I mean, but that's what you signed up for. I mean, you signed up to deal with 14 to 18-year-old kids if you're a high school or you signed up for that. Your job is to teach them and deal with that. If they do something wrong, you do the correct things that you're supposed to do and not do stuff that's not in your guidelines. Just like any other job. If you work for me or whatever else it is, and something happens and you do something, I'm going to probably terminate you. I mean, that's just life in general. So, I mean, it's just tough. It's very, very, very tough. How about how about a teacher leaving his classroom to pull a 15-year-old female out of class to scream and cuss at the drama his daughter made up? Nothing happened to him. Oh, wait, he was promoted. Yeah, so I did hear the story. I'm not going to say who it is, but I did hear the story. Actually, my son was in her class, and it was very disheartening for any teacher to go to anybody's classroom and pull them out of the classroom and cuss at them is just completely wrong and should have been reprimanded probably in a way that he wasn't. Or she wasn't. I don't know exactly what the repercussions were, but to me, that is completely unacceptable. Right here it says, as a parent, it's disgusting. I've tried teaching my kids that none of the less to do right. My sons, Nick, Garrett, Brew, P-balls have been through so much at Biloxi, mainly through teachers and coaches. Again, Biloxi, the school board of Biloxi, you need to change something. The superintendent of Biloxi, you need to change something. Your system is completely and utterly broken. If you don't want blood on your hands and a kid hurting themselves, you need to fix the system. You have completely broken, and all the trust for especially me, I have zero trust in your system, and I'm sure almost everybody else here is the same way. What about the AD covering for a student breaking all the rules, but others aren't held to the same standard and getting punished? That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. You got to eliminate so-called the club. I mean, every kid there should be treated equally, no matter if he's black, white, Spanish, Indian, whatever it is. That should have no bearing on anything. If a kid has got a disease or anything, every kid should be treated exactly the same. I mean, you're there to protect the children, and it's tough. The current superintendent has the wrong priorities at heart. I'm not going to agree or disagree, but what I will say is you need to protect the children and not your friends and your colleagues. You're there to get paid to protect our children and to give them a good education. Just because Biloxi's got an A rating doesn't mean you got an A rating in everything. And this is probably, you might have an A rating in grades and the likeness of teachers, but I'll tell you one thing, the way this system is, I'd give you for sure an F. Right here, the AD has addressed the team, stating he's tired of hearing from parents, which discourage transparency and accountability. Despite numerous emails and calls about the issues, they've largely been ignored. And you are 100% correct. That's exactly what I felt. And I think if I'm speaking amongst the 20 or 30 other people that have said the exact same thing, if you're going to make a complaint, you need to be able to make a complaint and know the investigations being done, and you need to know what the repercussions are. And as of right now, we don't have that. There's zero transparency. They say they look into it, and they sweep it under the rug. And that stuff has to stop. And not just at Biloxi, but anywhere else. Why can't a student go through the actual principal? All communication gets stopped at the assistant principal. They then swept under the rug. Avoid to the actual issues. Michelle, I've heard the exact same thing. I've only heard amazing things about the principal. I've never personally met her, I don't believe. Thank God, because that's probably a bad thing if I had to go to see the principal's office. But yeah, you're right. I mean, the principal should be the head of the school. And from what I'm hearing is, they don't let her get involved in stuff, which is sad, and I don't understand why. What were you going to ask?
There.
As a teacher, the first thing you learn in education is laws in place. You should never, ever treat a child differently, regardless of who they are and what kind of issues they have. It is heartbreaking that some of these teachers get away with treating children wrong. You couldn't be more correct. And one of the tough things is, and I hear often is, some of these teachers are friends with some of the higher ups, and, they're treated and they feel invincible. And, that can't happen. You can't have cliques and you can't have clubs when you're there to teach kids. You need to do what you're doing. I mean, it's just utterly horrible. It's just tough.
Let's see. Try and get more. Let's go.
This right here is, I've never been able to firmly reach the principal. My son was called a here. I don't want to say the word, but I messed it up, and nothing was done. That's horrible. If any of that kind of stuff should happen, it should be happen. It's crazy. Every bullied student that ever took their own life may still be alive if someone had said something and took the action early, like you are in this situation. Support. I mean, in this day and age, if people don't realize how fragile these children are and how suicide now is the third death rate for peds kids 14 to 18, then you're ill. What else can I talk about the cheer team wise? I could tell you this. We all know, and it's obviously public knowledge now, both coaches have stepped down, which we appreciate. They're both employed with the school, which is fine. I was told they're actively looking for a new coach, but I did get an email today online saying there's no ad yet. So I don't know what's going on or what it is, but Biloxi, I know in the last 5 or 6 years, have had a few really great Division I cheerleaders. I mean, Lainey Tallow went to LSU, Emily Delano went to Mississippi State, and now Kiara is going to, I believe, Southern Miss. So, I mean, we have a good program and we have some really talented people. I think it's time now they get someone in there that really knows what they're doing. I don't believe either of the coaches that we have today are truly experienced, especially to bring these girls to the next level. So I think hopefully the AD and the superintendent, whoever else is involved, the principal, whoever's involved in the new cheer coach, does the right thing and looks for the right person to go in there. People are saying the superintendent needs to step down from his position. Hey, that's everyone's got different opinions. Some people like me, some people don't like me. I don't really know Marcus Boudreaux very well. I did have some communication with him. As again, I believe the system is broken. I believe he needs to have more of an open access. I believe there needs to be transparency on what has happened and what is being done. And until then, it would be crazy.
More trolls.
Yeah,
Yeah, if y'all got any serious questions, hit us. I mean, I'm not going to respond. We're not responding to any troll stuff. It's just,
I mean, and I just, and it's key. So my biggest thing, Ivan, can you talk about the 2 young girls that were bullied so bad they quit, and a few of them wouldn't return to the team? To be honest with you, I don't know what 2 girls it is. I know it's a lot of them. In the last 3 weeks, I've probably had 20 emails and calls and statements from ex-girls. And it's been brutal. I mean, I've heard girls, body shamed and called nasty words in front of the whole team and demeaned. It's just been bad. It's just been a toxic environment, and it's sad. It's really sad. I wish I can come out here and throw out everything that I could throw out, but it's brutal. Ivan, what is the issue with the team? Is it the coach or the girls? some people could say it could be both. The administration could say it could be the girls. I say if there's this many people and this many problems over this many years, there's definitely a coaching issue.
So John just said there is an issue at more than Biloxi High, there, North Bay, and so on.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, this is not a Biloxi High only issue. This is not a cheerleading only issue. I have come forward on behalf of my daughter and the cheerleaders. I don't know what's going on the soccer team, Bay High, but this is something that we all need to stand together and realizing it's not right. And if there is an issue, the parents and the kids need to have the ability to go on and go forward on that. I mean, that's reality. That's what you need to do. Gypsy, Ivan, I emailed him 3 months ago about the issues and he never answered. I work in HR and you would be in trouble if you didn't answer. Look, I've heard this numerous times. Again, this is what I mean. They have failed the children. They have failed the teachers. For them not to respond, they're doing it so they can sweep it under the rug and not be accountable. This is what needs to change. And it needs to change in a very fast and serious manner before it's too late and we lose a child. Ivan, what about to have 2 daughters that will probably be going to BPS? Don't you agree this is simple common sense policy? If you're running this as a business, no way would you accept what happened, even if they were adults. There's no doubt in my mind. I couldn't agree more. If this was my business, which I have plenty, this would be completely 100% unacceptable for me. But I don't run a school, and I know there's a lot of rules and regulations that it's not that easy to do certain things. So if I have to take it to court, which I did not want to, I have enough things on my plate that I'm dealing with today. That's the last thing I wanted to ever get involved in. It's brutal. How many complaint statements were made from the team this year? Well, I think right now, so far, I think we had 15 if I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but we had 15 statements. And I think we had in the last few months, 7, 8, 9 parent meetings. It's definitely disturbing.
Appreciate that, Danger Boy.
I love the information on the positivity in this broadcast. On a 1 to scale, where do you think the people should start to make the change? 100% the school board. If there's an issue, you need to have accessibility to get in front of someone, explain the issue, and you need a third party to actually do the investigation. You cannot have the start off at the coach and then the AD, because they're all friends and they're going to protect their friends over anything. So unless you have a third party doing a true investigation and really trying to find the facts out, nothing will ever get done. And the school, again, Biloxi High and probably all the other schools, you failed us and you're failing these children. Send your kids to D'Iberville. I hope D'Iberville is great. We love the District Coffee Company.
Yeah.
Hey, props to you guys.
Yeah.
They're great. I wish I could, Kenya. I wish I could read the statements or letters. There are rules and regulations.
And that's another thing. There's gonna be a series of this as we go more and more into it. Like you said, he read that statement, and he's got to go by the statement and that his attorney gave him. And
people have to remember also, these kids are minors. So for me to come out and read a statement done by a minor, I don't even know if I could legally have done that anyway. And I wasn't looking to do that, but I did get consent from several parents and kids and ex-kids, and we have them all in our files and ready to go. The school administration has a bunch of them. I honestly don't believe we need even to present anymore. There's plenty of evidence to see that, when you have multiple people with the same situations, there's a problem. And that's really all I'm asking for, is let's just eliminate the problem. There should be more transparency on both the student and teacher complaints and disciplinary actions. I could not agree more. I love the picture, Scott, as well. I couldn't agree more. Transparency is the one thing that they don't do. So when I made the complaint and had the issue, they told me, obviously they've stepped down, and that's what I asked for, the apology, and they wouldn't do it. And I asked, well, tell me what happened. Like, what are you guys going to do? And they won't tell you. I asked for the videos of 2 incidents that happened. I still haven't gotten.
So that's the big thing for me is, I mean, they have to have the surveillance.
Yeah. So they're saying they don't on the pulling. There is a witness. So it is what it is. The other instance I have is on a school bus, and I haven't got an answer. I asked for it. They haven't given me an answer. I don't know if I'll ever get it. Maybe when I go to litigation, I'll possibly get it. I'm not 100% sure, but I'll tell you one thing. If my son goes and punches a teacher in the face, I can guarantee you the first thing they're going to show me is that video of my son punching the teacher in the face. So, I mean, you can't be double standard. If you have videos there, use the video for a reason. That's what cameras are for. Cameras are to show facts. And if you have them and Biloxi High's got a ton of money, that's what needs to be done. Even when what'd she say right there? Even when the school board president, I just wanted to talk to someone because my daughter has a new medical condition that requires meds, and I'm concerned about how the athletic department handles it. I mean, that's concerning. I mean, those are things that should be done. I mean, your child's got an issue. It 100% needs to be done. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. And again, I love Biloxi. I think Biloxi is an amazing school. I think 99% of the teachers are incredible. All the coaches that I've ever had, that my kids have been with, never had issues with. I've never made a single complaint on any coach or any teacher. If a teacher, which I think a few of them have called or a couple of them have called, I made sure my kids were disciplined and it never happened again. So I know a lot of people like, oh, your kids are privileged and stuff. Yeah, they're privileged. And I worked my ass off to where I am today. And, it's scary that I got to be at risk here to protect these other children because the school board and the school won't take responsibility.
This one.
Do you think they should have more adults in supervision over practices and sidelines at games? A lot of people think
My bad.
Drew and P-balls would be a good fit. I don't know. Yes, I think there obviously should be more supervision at any times. I mean, so much stuff is happening. I mean, the world's scary today. I mean, look, you saw the United Healthcare president get pretty much assassinated on the streets of New York City. So, and me, that was one of my worries is like, hey, I'm coming out and exposing, I believe, a school, and I'm sure a lot of people were very upset about it. But I believe that if you don't do this and people don't get together and really understand the situation, it's going to get worse. And that's the one thing I'm trying to prevent from it to get worse.
Please go get an education degree and become a teacher and a coach.
As I told you before, I commend all these teachers and coaches dealing with these kids. I know I've had 3 of them that they're not no angels and they're probably tough to work with, but that's what you signed up for. And, you need to act accordingly to the rules and the procedures the school has. And if you don't, you should be held accountable. That's it. Thank you for the time to inform the public without humiliation of the ones involved. We need more people who have common sense in handling situations. Thank you, Chris. When this first happened, I was pretty angry and I was going to name names and really go hard at it. And after speaking with my attorneys, I just felt like the risk wasn't there. And I don't want to defame any individual person. I'm here for change. And that's all I want is change. Right here, British, the teachers at Biloxi are great. In my personal opinion, it's just a few bad coaches and teachers that have to go. Hey, I mean, we're preaching the same thing, British. It's tough. It's tough out there. And we need to eliminate this stuff.
Do you feel like we're at a good stopping point?
I feel so. I mean, didn't sign up for disrespect. If you were in the schools, I have no idea. So listen, there's comments on here. People can go read the comments, good, bad, and different. I'm not going to read any comments that are, defaming anybody or saying anything negative. The goal here is just really trying to put the word out. You know what I'm saying? It's just tough. It's a tough situation. Hey, Mr. Ivan, thank you for being brave enough to speak up like this, because not even I would be, and I have an unhinged ass mouth. Listen, this has not been easy. I did not sign up for this. I did not want to do this, but when I felt like I couldn't get anywhere with the administration, and I couldn't get them to apologize to these girls just to make everyone feel better. I just thought it was wrong. And it's sad to me. I mean, just, stepping down, you're pretty much saying it wasn't the right culture. Apologizing makes everybody feel better. So that's really, what it is. This is not going to be the last episode about this. I'm sure there's plenty of other people besides me that might want to come out on Jordan's podcast. I thank Jordan a lot. He gave me this platform to kind of come in here and talk about it. And it's just something that needs to be, it needs to be handled. And, again,
we're going to be moving that. There's going to be more stuff coming up, but this is the whole idea. We had to switch. I haven't had to switch gears and read the statement. And we went to the questions and answers. But look, I appreciate everybody coming in here and commenting, and I appreciate you trolls too, because you helped me too in the comments. So thank you. Yeah, maybe change your handle to your name. That'd probably be something cool.
Hey, the one thing is, again, all I'm asking more importantly than ever is the school board, please get involved. Please, please, please get involved, because for a person like me, or a person like anybody else that really has an issue with statements after statements after statements after statements after emails after emails after text going back 10 plus years, for me not to be able to go in and speak to you guys and bringing these people in is it's a crime. Okay. For me to get roadblocks and asking for more information when you guys have them from the statements, you guys are failing the children. So I'm asking each and every one of you on the school board, do the right thing. If you're going to do something, do it right. Because right now you're failing all these kids. That you might be in a school, but what you're doing to these children is a complete injustice.
And to my friends, thank you so much, and my family for tuning in. Paige, I love you. District Coffee Company. I got Bobby Charles. Check him out. I had him on the podcast. An amazing woodworker. Just finished Theo Vaughn's podcast table. Sings his heart out. What's cool about him is Bobby Charles is, he has Tourette's, and he owns it. And
so let me just do one, because you said, "Wow, I can't even respond for someone to legit say it's okay for kids to be disrespectful adults." 100%, it's not okay. And if my kid was ever disrespectful to a teacher, if you called me up, I would make sure that is not okay. There is no way that should be okay whatsoever. But I will tell you one thing. When it gets to a level that it did in this cheer thing with coaches, and they're disrespecting these kids so much, if these girls joke around and say these stupid gaff words or whatever else it is, half the times it's good, half the times the coaches are joking around. It is what it is. But not one single time did I ever get a call from the coach at Biloxi cheer or anywhere else that my daughter was being disrespectful. If I did, I would handle it that second. So you could say what you want, but if any time whatsoever, any of my kids were ever disrespectful, I personally handle that at my house. But just don't put your hands on my daughter.
And this podcast was for you, Bella. So
love you, Bella. Happy birthday,
guys. We love you, and we're gonna we'll tune in next time. Thank you for the support. Kids shouldn't suffer any of this. So that's all and thank y'all so much. We had some really good questions. And it's like I said, thank you, trolls. I mean, you help me out. So I appreciate you too. I just want you to change your handle to your real name. But take care, and guys, we love you.
Thank you very much.